Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. This is the first Minisode of season 2. If you're new to this podcast, every Sunday we feature a Minisode where we talk to listeners about their ghost stories. For this Minisode, I spoke to Candace from Bellingham, Washington. Candace told me a chilling story about an experience she had while working on a resort on the Copper River in Alaska. Here's the call.
Hello?
Hi, is this Candace?
Yes, it is.
Hi, Candace. This is Sara calling from Laughing in the Dark. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Well, hey, so do you have a ghost story to tell me?
I do, yes.
Ooh, I'm excited.
Yeah, it takes place about 5-ish years ago. I was doing a seasonal job up in Alaska. I worked for Princess Cruise Liners in one of their resorts. And
so it's just, is it like a ski resort or what kind of a?
So it's on the Copper River, so they kind of have like a lot of fishing outings. It's just kind of a lodge in the middle of nowhere that you can, like, people get from the cruise ship, they get on a bus and then they go to certain lodges back onto the cruise ship and back home.
So they get on a bus too. So it really is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So I don't really
the perfect setting for a ghost story.
I don't know if you know too much about Alaska, but it was a 5.5 hour drive from Anchorage, and then it was 2 hours from Valdez. So yeah, the closest Safeway was 2.5 hours away.
Oh my gosh. How do they even get food out there?
I mean, just like a restaurant, they have like big FSA type box trailers that will deliver things.
Wow. So you were working for that resort?
Yeah, I was.
Okay, so take us through it. How does it start?
So everyone kept saying that the resort is haunted, that they saw a little girl, and we had visitors like commenting on how they were seeing people that weren't there. So there's all these things going around in that town, in that area. It's a really old native, land. So they said things were going on. And then we found out that about a mile down the road, there was an old house that was haunted. And I guess people have gone to it trying to figure out if it's really haunted. Like, they've had, TV shows go there and things like that. They did the interviews, all that sort of ghost hunting stuff. So everyone's like, oh, we should go see it. We should go check it out. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going. And so...
it's always that person that's like, I'm not into this, that has the ghost experience.
I know, right? It's horrible.
Just perfect.
So two of my friends, like my best friends, their names John and Jordan and Kevin. And so they go to the house and they check it out. And I stayed back, and I get a knock on my door at 2 a.m, and they're like, oh my God, that was so creepy, so weird, so awkward being in there. And Kevin was really freaked out by it. He was not happy. So the next day they're like, well, let's go back. Let's check it out again. And for some bizarre reason, I agreed to go this time, but I'm like, okay.
Was it because it was during the daytime?
Yeah, we went again during the day, but it was Alaska, so it's, 24-hour daylight.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay.
Even though it was 9 o'clock at night, it was still day. We went after work. And so I'm just like, okay, I'm going to go, but I'm going to stay in the truck with JD. I'm not going to go into the house. And so we go down to the house, and JD and I stay in the truck. And the boys go into the house, and we start getting knocking on the truck door. And
oh, no.
Yeah, it knocked. So we honk on the horn, and we're like, boys, you got to come back out here. We're done. We're over this. Let's get out of here.
Right.
And they never came back out. They never showed back up. And so there was knocking again on the driver's side door this time. And
is that where you were sitting?
It was one of those extended cab type trucks. So JD was in the passenger seat and I was in the back seat. No one was in the driver's seat. And then John came out. He was the owner of the truck. And he's like, okay, well, just drive off property. Get off property. We'll meet you out there in a minute. And stuff. They were still checking things out. They ended up stealing quite a few things from the house, which is apparently a big no-no with ghost stories.
Well, yeah.
But they were just going through the house, and so we left.
What did they steal?
They stole some photos, like family photos, it looks like.
Oh my God, that's like the worst. This is like a horror movie, like an actual, like middle of nowhere, haunted house, stealing family photos. Like,
yeah,
perfect.
They stole, it had to have been like an old video camera from like the 70s.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
I don't know. There's a video in it. I'm just like, yeah, I don't want that near me. Like, get that away. I'm not that stupid. But yeah, so we kept hearing knocking even though we drove off property. And then when the boys came out and we went back home, I went up to Jordan. I'm like, hey, show me the pictures that you took of the house. Like, I want to see what it at least looked like. I don't want to go in there, but I want to see what it looked like.
Sure, so, yeah.
We're flipping through the pictures, and I'm just like, hold on. I see a face in that mirror. And it was a face, like, we're all young. We're all in our early 20s. And it was a face of this, like, 50-year-old man and stuff. And he's like, I don't know what mirror you're talking about, because that's the window on the second floor. And just, like, clear as day, there was a face. And I'm like, okay,
oh, my God.
Really freaking me out. And we keep flipping through the
Do you still have that picture? Do you have, like, access to that picture?
I don't have the picture, but I can probably get a hold of Jordan and see if he has it.
If he does, I mean, sorry to cut you off, but if he does, we could put it up on the website with your story if you want.
Yeah. I don't really know if I'll still have it. I mean, it was so long ago, and it was one of those things that kind of freaked us all out that, I don't know.
Yeah. No pressure at all. But if you have them, it would be really cool to put them on the website so that listeners can see them, you know?
Yeah.
That would be so awesome. Yeah. I mean, I kind of just want to see them for myself. It's cool.
Yeah, there's a second photo from the first day that they went that I swear I can see the face in it. It's another window from inside the, like, garage shed type thing, but no one else can see the face. No one else really thinks it's there.
Okay. It's like a little outline of a face, kind of.
Yeah. It's just like, it's
but the first one looks...
You can see, like, wrinkles and a mustache, and he just looks mean and scary and long brown hair, just like super. He is really a ghost, and he really did die. Must have been during the 70s.
Huh. Oh, okay. Yeah, I see. Like kind of that shaggy long hair look.
Yeah.
So, and it's the same guy from the other picture where it looks like it's a mirror, but it's actually a window on the second story.
Well, all the pictures that were like in the house that the boys stole, they were all like younger pictures, but it definitely looked like it could have been, you know, him 20 years later or his dad or something like that.
Wow. Like, okay.
We found out because you know how people used to write names on the back of the pictures? We concluded his name was Michael.
Michael.
Yeah.
Wow. So then, okay, so you go back to the main campus that you were working at pretty much.
Yeah.
You have these pictures. Did you tell it to the people that actually live there in Alaska? Did you show them? Like, what did they say?
Well, nobody lived there, really.
Oh.
Nobody lived in the house that we went to. That was an abandoned house that's been abandoned for years.
Okay.
The resort's property is abandoned during off-season, except for, like, one maintenance guy.
Wow.
So, like...
I bet he has some stories.
I'm sure he does. Like, so many stories about a girl in a white dress wandering around the hallways of the resort and things like that. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I never saw her.
That is a common one. Yeah. I don't know if that is just something that, because I feel like the girl in the white dress, I hear that so much, you know? And I feel like that's everyone. But then at the same time, like either it happens a lot, like, or it's maybe something in people's like subconscious that when they think of a ghost, that's what they project almost. So it's like when they feel, you know, off, that's what they see. I don't know.
I think that's all like a representation thing because like one of the biggest tragedies anyone can face is a young person dying. So a young girl in a white dress, you know, white represents purity and all that stuff. Like that is probably one of the most tragic images you can really think of.
Yeah. So
it's just one of those pictures that, you know, I really feel like when it comes to ghosts, it's people searching out for it. You know, if you want it, that's when you're going to. One reason I don't want to go to the house.
Yeah. So you do believe in ghosts?
I do, yeah.
And you did before this experience?
I'm sorry, what?
Oh, sorry. No, I said, and you did before this experience.
Yeah. Well, always growing up, my mom told us that the house we grew up in was haunted when they first moved into it, but I never had any.
Really?
Yeah. My parents moved to Washington. They're from California. They moved to Washington, and the person they bought the house from, she had died, and she was like this horrible alcoholic of a woman. She pretty much just drank herself to death in the house. And so when they moved into it, there was like cupboards closing, doors slamming, things like that. Like my mom said that thing really tormented my brother as a baby.
Wow.
So it's just like, I've always grown up hearing that story. So it's just, I don't want to call my mom a liar. I'm not going to say that. So I guess I always felt like, if she believes it, then it's true.
Well, yeah. And I wonder what made that spirit, if that is what it was, I wonder what made it stop in your childhood home.
Well, my mom, she's not as religious as she used to be, but she was always told that when you have like a bad spirit, just tell them to go away. Tell them to leave you alone. She got like advice from the pastor and things like that. And so one day she told her to either be nice or go away. And she never had a problem ever since.
Interesting. It's funny that that just seems so simple, Right. And maybe in that way too, like maybe the spirit wasn't trying to offend anybody. You know what I mean? Like it could have been something where it's like that spirit was just trying to get their attention. Yeah. And then when their response is go away, they go, oh, God, sorry. I was just, guess it worked. Like maybe they just like, I'm almost like putting myself in the shoes of the spirit. And I feel like if that was me being like, look, I'm here, I'm hitting this cupboard. Like, do you see me? And people were like, leave, spirit. I'd be like, oh God, all right, I'm embarrassed. Like, I'll see myself out. I don't know.
I mean, I never really thought about it from that point of view, but that's the thing,
Yeah, I mean, that's assuming that these spirits are just human like we are, that are in another realm, Right. And maybe some of them are and some of them aren't, because I've definitely heard stories of people that politely asked the spirit to leave and they were not having any of it.
Oh, geez.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've heard so many different kinds of stories so that it's kind of like there could be lots of things out there that we just don't understand.
Right. I mean, like I can't watch scary movies. I don't watch them. My boyfriend persuaded me to watch The Conjuring. And, there are people out there who really believe in things like that and the theories behind all of it. And I doubt it's something we'll ever know, but
yeah,
I'm a really big sci-fi nerd. And so there's a lot of movies where people get stuck in like a parallel dimension where it's like, can you see me? I'm trying to talk to you, but they're in this like parallel dimension, so they can't communicate with each other. So that's kind of what I just picture a ghost being. Me
too. That's a lot of what I see too. And like, I because it's also like, why couldn't that be possible? I don't know. Right. And a lot of the things that we think about as like terrifying, sometimes I'll kind of feel empathy towards that spirit because it's like the stories that people are always freaked out by the little kid ghosts, Uh-huh. But like I heard a story last season where someone was saying, oh, there's this little girl who's at this like hotel or something and she's looking for her parents. So she'll like chase around like middle-aged women because she thinks it's her mom. Oh, and the person telling this story, yeah, it's kind of like the same reaction you just had where people are like, ew, that's creepy. But I'm also like, oh, that's so sad, Because it's kind of like every kid had that scary moment in the grocery store where you're like following someone and then you realize it's not your mom, Right. Yeah, and it's like, if what this person's telling me is true, if this is that spirit's experience, what a terrifying place to be in. Yeah. So it's, I think that kind of interests me. And then it's also, like you said, being in a parallel universe, trying to like communicate with people and not being able to, that's like a nightmare, Like when you have those nightmares where nothing comes out of your mouth when you're trying to like scream or talk.
Right.
It's fascinating to me. Like, I'm so interested to know like what's out there.
I mean, hopefully we'll never find out. I don't know.
Hopefully.
I just feel like we always need that mystery. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Again, back to the sci-fi thing. If you could jump from one world to the next, that's so, I don't know, that's a big picture that I can't see. I don't want to be able to do that. That's so terrifying. Like,
because you find it like too overwhelming? Is that kind of where you're coming from?
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I don't feel like a ghost can communicate with another ghost. So it's like that, like you're saying, the little girl looking for her mom. Even if whatever happened 100 years down the line, the mom dies and she's a ghost, like that little girl will never find her mom. So if you could actually meet that little girl and talk, she's going to be stuck trying to find her mom for the rest of eternity. And I feel like that's the place that I never want to go to.
Yeah.
Or want to.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. Well, then there's also the theory that like spirits are like a memory, basically like an imprint left on a place. And it's kind of like a tape being replayed over and over again.
Yeah.
I always find it fascinating to talk to other people about what their thoughts are about this. Because just like you said, we probably will never know, you know. But it's so interesting to put together a bunch of different ideas from different people that say, well, this is kind of how I think about it, or this is how I think about it. And to all just kind of wonder about it together, you know?
I mean, for a lot of people, ghosts are a very comforting type thing.
Yeah.
You know, like a lot of people believe that like, oh, that's my mom, she's still with me type thing. It's a comforting, warming type sensation for them. And other people, it's an absolute nightmare.
Well, yeah. And I mean, I have that too, like with my dad. Like if my dad passed away in 2017, and if it's like sometimes I'll feel like he's with me, or something will happen and I'll be like, oh, hey, Dad, you know. Right. I think that that's a really typical experience. And it's probably like, even for me, like, and I have a show about ghosts, you know, but even for me, I'm like, I don't know if that's really my dad or if it just feels like him, but either way, I'll take it. You know? Right.
There's a lot
but then at the same time,
that, like, there are people who like believe that they just randomly start smelling cigar smoke, or their or whatever. You know,
but that actually, I had heard stories like that too, especially the cigar smoke, you know?
Yeah.
And I actually experienced that in season 1.
Oh yeah.
Do you listen to my podcast, or did you just
I heard
like how did you find out about?
And just randomly online, surfing the internet, and I just like, hey, I'm going to listen to a few stories, you know, listen to an episode or two. I love podcasts.
Yeah. So there's
much I can't listen to them, but
yeah. Like my show gets to be too much, or just in general?
I mean, there's been one episode of yours where I'm like, okay, I'm done. It was late enough.
Really? Which one was it? I'm curious.
I don't even know. It was... I'm not exactly the brightest person. I was watching an interview of Ted Bundy alone in my house in the middle of the night. And then I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God. Was it the Ted Bundy tapes?
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's so good. I'm watching it right now.
I'm going to like just put on a podcast, and yours was the last one I listened to. So it's the first one that came up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I'm not doing this. I'm done.
Too many ghost stories. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah, no. So there's an episode in Nunica Cemetery in season 1, and it's not until the very end, but me and the comic were leaving the cemetery, and we both started smelling smoke, and the cemetery was in the middle of nowhere. Like there wasn't a house having a bonfire nearby. There was nothing like close to us. And I think it was raining too. So it was like, it was really, really weird. We both smelled it like it was right next to us. And both of us described it as burning toast, which is like supposed to be what you experience before you have a stroke, you know? So we're like, okay, either we're both about to have a stroke right now, which itself would be paranormal, or like, what the hell is that? And we couldn't figure it out. And as we were talking about it, suddenly the smell just completely went away. And it was like really, really strong. And we were both talking about it so much while we were leaving. And that's one of those things like, everyone will be like, oh, have you had a ghost story happen to you? Or like, have you had something happen? And I'll tell that one. And a lot of people are like, oh, it's like boring to them. But I'm like, it's one of those things though, that like when you experience it, you're like, this is really weird, you know? Right. So for me, that was exciting.
I mean, I get it because like anytime I hear a knock on the door or knock on the window, I jump. If I'm expecting someone to come over, I will leave the door open and be like, just come on in. Don't knock. Come on in. I just don't like
Yeah, that is super creepy. Yeah. Was the knock like threatening on your door, or was it just kind of like a, hey, I'm here?
The way I at least have it in my memory is like, I feel like if you were sitting in your car trespassing and someone
it was like a cop knock.
Yeah. That's what it seemed like. And I've tried thinking of every excuse I could think of, because I'm like, maybe it was like the speaker or some weird, being in the middle of nowhere, maybe the satellite couldn't get into the speaker and so it was causing static type thing. But I'm like, the car was off. The car wasn't even running. Yeah. How was the speaker making noise?
Yeah.
So it's just like,
and also like having it knock on, and also having the knock come from different parts of the car, like someone had walked around. Oof.
I so wish I had pulled out my phone and taken a picture at that time, if I could see something, picture, but
man.
I mean, in the heat of the moment, I was so not wanting that.
I bet you, and like the thing about it that is also kind of creepy is like, first of all, seeing a face in the window, but noting that it's the second floor, that is creepy. Like someone almost floating outside of the window.
Yeah. I thought it was a reflection.
Oh, it looked like a reflection. Oh, okay. I see.
Like, it didn't look like
that's
someone was staring at us. It was a reflection of, it was
someone inside the house.
Yeah, but
that's even creepier because
I couldn't see like the flash from the camera in it or the boy who took the picture of it. I couldn't see his face, so maybe I just wasn't looking for that. But
yeah, well, and I also think like the guy looking threatening in the window. He probably, I would imagine that he's kind of like, who are these people in my house, Right. And for him to be knocking on your car, also being like, you guys are trespassing. What can I do for you?
Right.
It makes you wonder if like that spirit even knows they're dead.
Oh, that'd be a creepy thought. I don't like the idea of that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't want to like upset you.
You're good.
Like ruin your whole day. Why did I do this? But yeah, to me, that is one of the most chilling ideas, is a spirit that doesn't know that they're dead.
Yeah.
It's been done. It's, the Sixth Sense, but still it's a scary idea,
right.
And then from that point of view, you understand why they're so pissed off when people are in their space, because they're like, get out of here. Why are you here?
Yeah. It's the middle of nowhere, so I can't imagine there would be a lot of people just popping up all the time. So
yeah. So it's like, why wouldn't he just think he's living alone in the middle of nowhere doing his thing?
Yeah. All of a sudden a bunch of kids show up and steal his stuff.
What the hell are they doing here? Yeah. Well, so then you said one of your friends still has one of the family portraits or something?
Yeah, I think he does.
Has he experienced anything like coming with him from the house, or has it kind of just remained there that you know of?
For him in particular, that house was the absolute worst for him.
Interesting.
Because he went the first day. And that was kind of the reason the boys came back to my room in the middle of the night.
Right.
He had a horrible, horrible experience. And it was just like...
Did he tell you why?
We ended up going for a walk. And he told us that there's something in the house that brought back a memory that he had just put in the back of his mind. He kind of forgot completely about, and then there was something in the house. So it was like, it brought that memory back to him. And yeah, so it was a traumatizing experience for him to see something. I don't know what he saw. I don't know what happened. It was just like, he was suddenly possessed with a bad memory. And so it was just...
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's such a personal attack. This takes it to a whole new level, because it's kind of like again, it reminds me of a horror movie where they're basically telling you like, I know everything about you, and let me show you that by reintroducing something horrible to you, specifically to make you feel that fear or shame or whatever it was.
Right.
But then what I find so interesting is for him to have such a personal and traumatizing experience in the house. One, for him to return the next day, because he wasn't the one who stayed in the car with you, right?
Yeah, no. Well, the whole plan was it was going to be 4 of us go, and we were going to leave Kevin behind. Kevin was the one who's... Yeah, we were kind of just doing this all behind his back. We didn't want to tell him that we were going, even though he was like our
I see.
He was close to us. We all talked behind his back. And somehow...
Yeah, because it would upset him.
Yeah. Somehow he found out about it. And like as we were pulling away in the truck, he like got in front of the truck and he's like, I'm going. I'm getting in. And he jumped in with us. And, we didn't really want him to come, but it just ended up happening that he came again. And
maybe he just felt like he had to face it again.
Maybe.
Because what I also think is interesting is that for him to have such a traumatic experience there and then to save a memento, not only leave with something, but also keep it.
Yeah, that was a reason why I wanted to see the photos, because I'm like, show me the room that caused him to have that experience. Like, show me what freaked you out type thing. And it was just an empty room. It was just an abandoned house and an empty room and literally nothing in there. There was no bed, no dresser, it was just even the carpet was pulled up and it was just drywall type floor and just an empty room.
Yeah. But he was struck by a memory of his own, right? Not like an implanted memory from another life.
No, it was his own memory. Like he knows that happened. It was like a memory from a year before, 2 years, something like that. I don't know. But
interesting.
It was very clear that other people have gone into the house. And like, we know for sure because it's been on TV before.
Right.
But like people put out, I think it was a salt circle or something like that.
Oh,
like safety type things that apparently spirit can't get through. I don't really know too much about all that stuff, but it's just like there are signs that people were doing that sort of thing in the house.
Yeah, so there's probably all kinds of stuff in there.
Yeah.
What is the name? So if it's been on TV, what's the name of this house?
I have no idea. I never watched it. These are all things that people are telling me later down the line and stuff.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
The town was in Glen Allen, Alaska.
Glen Allen?
Yeah, Glenallen.
Glen Allen. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to Google it and see if I can't find a picture of it or something.
Yeah, I never tried.
Yeah, you were like, I am good.
I'm just like, I'm good. If someone knocked on my window, I'm good. I don't really need much more experience on that. Thankfully, though.
You're like, confirmed haunted. Goodbye.
Yeah, those 2 days that we were in the house, they were our last 2 days on property. It was the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So after we left the house, we kind of just went back to our little rooms and packed up and left. That was the end of it.
Wow. I bet you were just that whole next day on that, what was it, like a 5-hour bus ride or something?
Yeah.
I bet you were just thinking about that knock that whole time.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't think I slept for like 3 days, those last 3 days, but
wow,
it was pretty relaxing, just like getting to the airport and being like, okay, I'm far away. I'm about to get even further away, so I'm okay.
Yeah, you're like out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Wow. Well, that is crazy fascinating. Thank you for sharing your story, Candace.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I will get back to you on maybe if you find a picture or something, if you want to email it to us. If not, it's totally cool. Like, it's up to you.
Okay.
And then is there anything you want? I always ask people, is there anything you want to promote on your Minisode?
No, not that I can think of.
And you're like, no. Goodbye. I mean, sometimes people are like, oh, I have an Etsy shop, or like, oh, I have a band or something.
No, I've got nothing.
Okay. Well, hey, you enjoy your snow day and have so much fun today.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks so much for your call, Candace. It was great talking to you. Do you have a ghost story that you want to tell on Laughing in the Dark? Email us at litdarkpodcast@gmail.com or write to us in our Contact Us form on our website, litdarkpodcast.com. We may want to feature you on the show. Thanks so so much for listening.